Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
Time is now 12 minutes away from 8 in the morning, and Mayor of Dubbo, Matthew Dickerson, good morning.
Good morning, Kerry. How are you going?
Now, am I right in saying that you're still in the great big smoke down there?
In the big smoke, battling through the traffic and the crowds, waiting to get back to Dubbo.
Yeah, now, and the reason that you're down there, we must talk about this, because we like to talk about the important things first, obviously.
Yes,
now,
indeed.
the reason that you're down there is you took off your head and put on a pumpkin and decided to go in the City2Surf, is that right?
I did decide, well, I think I was encouraged strongly by my children to go in the City2Surf as a family event. I'm not sure if it's the greatest family event, but yes, came down here. And I do want to make the announcement, Kerry, that for the second year in a row, I won my category. Now, I did create the category. It's the Mayor's category, so I'm claiming the title as the fastest mayor in the nation.
Now, you don't want me to ask how many mayors are involved in that, do you?
Well, don't get stuck on the details, Kerry. Let's just focus on the outcome.
Yeah, okay, but a fabulous, over 90,000 or something in it, wasn't it?
I must admit, Kerry, for a large event, I don't think I can think of many events that are better organised than the City2Surf, and just to get that many people to go through the start, run the event, traffic areas you've got to close off, have all those people at the finish line, collect your bags at the end, transport. Gee, it's well done.
Yeah. Okay, now, on more important things of life, Dubbo, of course, was a bit of a sort of a catalyst, I think that's the right word I'm looking for, as far as 3D printing goes, with the toilet block, wasn't it? Was that last year we did the toilet block? Or?
Yeah, that's right. So 2023,
Okay.
we did the 3D printed toilet block.
And now you're looking at housing.
Well, more than us looking at housing, the whole idea of the scheme in the first place, Kerry, was our councillors thought it would be good to look at some 3D printed housing, and then a toilet block was budgeted for, ready to be replaced. So we used that concept to really trial the process and just make sure we knew how it worked and make sure the planning laws were okay with 3D printing, etc. On the back of that then, Rose Jackson, the Housing Minister, made an announcement last week that the nation's first 3D printed social housing project would be undertaken in Dubbo. So 51 Ronald Street in Dubbo will be a dual occupancy house that's created for social housing. Again, 3D printed. And a couple of things here: quicker to deliver, cheaper to deliver, but also better in terms of maintenance, because you've got a double concrete wall rather than a gyprock internal wall. So they believe the maintenance will be much better on that. But this is just the start, Kerry. We spoke with Homes New South Wales last week, which is the department that Rose Jackson's the minister for, and they said Dubbo and 1 is just the first cab off the rank. They're looking to accelerate housing across the state. So Dubbo 1, Dubbo more, the state more. So we'll see 3D printed housing across the state, which is not bad when you consider that a policy decision of a council in Dubbo has changed the entire policy direction for the state.
Yeah, I think it's a great move, and we'll be watching that obviously with interest with the housing crisis that's on at the moment. Also, you had QantasLink visit you.
We have a concept known as the Dubbo Business Chamber ASX 200 CEO Series. So essentially, as the name indicates, we get CEOs from ASX 200 companies. We have a Dubbo Business Chamber breakfast. They come along and speak to the breakfast and speak to the business owners in Dubbo, take a few questions and all the rest of it. So we kicked off that. We ran it years ago, Kerry, back in 2014, 15, 16. We ran that series. After the amalgamation, that died away, but we've revived it now. And so the first of the ASX 200 CEO series, take 2, was last week. And the first CEO was QantasLink CEO, Rachel Yangowan, and that's appropriate because Qantas does sponsor it. They fly our CEOs out to Dubbo for us. But it is a great series, and we get a whole range of different CEOs that come along and talk to us. We've had CEOs of places like Woolworths and obviously QantasLink previously, Star Entertainment, Aristocrat, a whole range of household names, and then their CEOs come along and speak to us. So it's a really successful series.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, anything else happening?
Well, I suppose on the back of that, there were a few questions at the breakfast about Rex, and that's obviously a major issue and something that we met with the Premier last week and spoke to him about a few things. Housing, 3D housing was one of the topics, but certainly transport for regional locations was another topic we spoke to him about, not just because of Rex, but obviously that highlighted it. But running airports in regional locations, very expensive, but they're incredibly important for those links that we've got through to the capital city.
Yeah. Very much so. And that's a matter of watch this space at this stage, isn't it? Because it's becoming more critical every day, virtually.
Yeah, it is. And just to finish off, Kerry, we celebrated last week 1 million attendees through our Dubbo Regional Theatre and Convention Centre. Now, I was on council back on the 23rd of July 2010 when we opened that. If someone would have said to me how long before 1 million people, well, in hindsight, I would have said 14 years. But really, I would have said decades before we get 1 million people attend. So in 14 years, we've had 1 million patrons go through that. That's pretty impressive. Now, the other thing that I like about that is 35.4% of people last year came from outside our local government area. So essentially, it's a tourist attraction.
Very much so. Thank you for your time, sir. Appreciate it. We'll catch up.
Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you, sir. There we go. Matthew Dickinson, Dubbo Mayor this morning.
Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickinson from Dubbo Regional Council.